No, baby, that's for somebody else. We're just gonna keep you right where you're at right now.
It doesn't matter what you think.
The Wrestling Realm presents Break It Down with Brian H.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to this episode of Break It Down with Brian H. I'm your host, Brian H. Waters. What a week it's been in professional wrestling. I have to say, we got Money in the Bank. We're on the heels of that. We also getting ready for Double or Nothing. AEW, the brand new promotion. The show is finally going to happen. But guess what? They don't have a championship match. More on that later. And make sure you are tuning in to the Wrestling Realms everywhere. You know, if you're listening to the podcast, make sure you go to YouTube. If you're on YouTube, make sure you check out all the videos that the real Dwayne Allen and I have just dropped this past week. Man, we had a ball, and you know, you want to be on the Instagram page to get a look at some of the photos that we've taken, because we're just going to keep dropping content. And guess what? He's got a new Realness Reacts. Yes, because there's a new championship title, a new championship, we're going to say belt, and he has it. So make sure you check that out. But you know what? It's time for the top rope.
Going up to the top rope.
It's time for this week's Top Rope segment of the week.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, the top rope this week. You saw the graphic. It's Brock Lesnar keeping Kofi Kingston and Seth Rollins on their toes. Who would have thought? First of all, so, you know, I did the post show, so I won't get too deep into what happened at Money in the Bank. Make sure you check out the post show on the YouTube channel, on the podcast, wherever you get your pod. You know, you should be listening on Podcoin. More on that later. But nonetheless, Brock Lesnar went out there, took care of business, and then he's just kind of playing with Kofi, and he's playing with Seth. What's he going to do? Is he going to cash in? But he let them know at any given time he could do it. And, you know, it was interesting that they both went up to him and said, no, we want to match with you. Do it one-on-one. Brock ain't trying to hear that. He's not trying to do that. Now, I know people are complaining. Why, Brock? Why does Brock have to become Mr. Money in the Bank? I got to say, man, yes, it would have been nice to see Ali get it and be built. He's going to be there. Don't worry about it. It would have been nice to see Drew McIntyre. Everybody knows that was my pick. But, you know, with AEW looming, we got to admit, folks, Brock Lesnar's a draw. Now, we just don't like it because he's not there every week. I think he would still be a draw if he was there every week. I don't think he has to be booked as a special attraction, meaning somebody who just comes and the more you see him, the more you're not going to want to see him. Don't get me wrong. I don't want to see him as champion. I don't. But I understand, like, why, you know. And I saw a meme, and I got to admit, it was funny, but it was kind of true. Vince gave you 6 weeks to see what you could do. And I know people out there complain and say, well, look at the way the booking has been for the past 6 weeks. It just wasn't good. And you have a point. But, I mean, the truth is, we had 6 weeks without him, and we saw how ratings are. So, I don't know, man. Just maybe, Brock is needed. We know with the Fox deal coming, word on the street is they want the WWE Championship on him. Here's the thing. Think about this. What if Brock cashes in and loses? That's a possibility. People say, why would they do that? No, like it's seriously a possibility. Brock could cash in and lose. It's not going to hurt him. If anything, it would make the next star. Imagine if Kofi Kingston beats him. Imagine if Seth Rollins beats him again. That would make them. Now, I've said this over and over again. I don't want to see heel. I want to see heel Seth Rollins, but you just never know. So, sticking with Kofi Kingston, this past Tuesday on SmackDown, we saw the return of Big E, and they had a huge celebration for Big E's return, and it was phenomenal. But then, all of a sudden, here comes Sami Zayn, and Sami Zayn said it. I promise you, you know, Kofi, you will not have a good ending tonight. One of the things that was interesting was Kofi and Big E. They was doing new day things. They was telling Big E, you've been killing it on Twitter. We know. It said, leave Becky Lynch mom alone. He's like, but I want her, man. Then Kofi said, y'all got to stop because they want me to be serious now. Shots at superstar Billy Graham. Shots at Jim Ross. But nonetheless, it just made sense. Like, all this, back and forth. They was back in New Day form. That's what I meant. But here comes Sami Zayn, and Kofi said, listen, don't let the pancakes and the dancing fool you. I can still roll with the best of them. And, they had a match. He beat him. But then all of a sudden, we saw a return. Dolph Ziggler. Dolph Ziggler is back. And he basically said the reason why he attacked, he really, really attacked Kofi Kingston. Of course, people was thinking Brock's going to cash in. I didn't think that was going to happen. I think Brock's going to hold on to it for a while. And rumors are he's facing Seth Rollins at Crown Jewel in Saudi Arabia in a few weeks. But nonetheless, Dolph Ziggler came out there and made it known he's challenging Kofi Kingston for the WWE Championship. Now, I will admit, I'm not going to be rooting for him. But I'm pretty sure there's a lot of people, Antonio Banks, who will be rooting for Dolph Ziggler in this match. Now, even if he's not rooting, that's my bro. Y'all know he obviously comments often on the Wrestling Realm. Even if he does not root for Kofi, I'm pretty sure that root for Dolph Ziggler, pretty sure that if Ziggler wins, he's not going to be upset. And he probably will because Ziggler's one of his top favorites. But there's a lot of shout out to my boy Dre from the Flex Zone. He's another fan. So we shall see. Moving on. We have a new WWE Championship title. It's the 24/7 title. So last night, Mick Foley came out there, introduced the new, I should say on Monday, because it's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. But on Monday, Mick Foley came out there, introduced this new championship, and it was the 24/7 title. Now, the fans didn't really receive it too well. I believe they was in Albany, New York. They didn't really receive it too well. They was just like, oh, here's this. And I even looked at it, I was like, okay, whatever. It almost ended up on a tapped out this week, but no, it didn't. Because as Foley was coming out there, they put the title. Now, y'all remember when the XFL first came out and they did the little scramble? That's what they kind of did with the title. The person to grab it, Titus O'Neil. O'Neil would grab the title and, showing off, hey, he's the champion. Finally, Titus O'Neil has a title. Shout out to him. But then Bobby Roode would come out there and take the title. And Bobby Roode was the champ. Oh, excuse me, Robert Roode. He was the champion. Now, all of a sudden, I'm on Instagram and watching Raw, but then after it went off I think by the time I noticed it was during the Warriors and Blazers series finale, that we had a new champion. His name was R-Truth. R-Truth posted, I'm going to take this European title to SmackDown Live. I was like, wait a minute, he's the champion. So this is interesting. I like the fact, the belt looks horrible, but I like the fact that we're going to have this championship. This is going to give other people an opportunity to get on television. This is also going to keep you glued to social media to see who has the title. That's how you introduce kind of a social media championship without telling us it's a social media championship. So I can't wait. But you know what? I'm going to take a break. But as I take this break, here's a word on how you can get paid to listen to my show. Hey everybody, I hope you enjoyed listening to Break It Down with Brian H. Y'all know, not only do I do a podcast, but I also consume a lot of podcasts. Chances are that if you're listening to my show, I'm listening to yours too. But this is where I'm listening. I'm actually listening on Podcoin. Did you know you could actually get paid just for listening to this podcast? I know it sounds insane, but it's actually true. Just discovered this app called Podcoin, and it literally pays you to listen to podcasts. Here's how it works. You listen to podcasts, and you earn Podcoin while you listen. Then you turn that Podcoin in for gift cards at places like Amazon or Starbucks. Or if you're a good person, you can even donate that Podcoin to charity. The more you listen, the more you earn. So here's what you do. Download the app right now on iPhone or Android. And I have a special code for you. Simply use the code Wrealm and you will get 300 Podcoin just for signing up. And if you listen to enough of us on there, you could get a cappuccino at Starbucks or an Amazon gift card on us. So go ahead and go listen to this podcast on, or virtually any podcast on Podcoin. Sign up with the code Wrealm. I swear it'll change how you listen to podcasts. And I'm back, ladies and gentlemen. So make sure you are downloading Podcoin to listen to my show, all your favorite shows. I'll get some free shout outs. I listen to View from the Top Rope on there. I listen to Something to Wrestle With on there. This new show, Grillin' JR. Obviously, my homies. Shout out to my friend Ashley Baker. Listen to her show, A&B Sports on there. So make sure you check that out. So let's talk about the women. We got Becky Lynch officially on Monday Night Raw full time. She lost the title. Obviously, she lost the SmackDown Live Women's title to Charlotte, who then lost it to a cashing in Bayley at this past Sunday's Money in the Bank. So now we're going to see the man on Monday Night Raw this past week. She teamed with Nikki Cross and the lovely Alexa Bliss as they took on the Iconics and Lacey Evans. So, matter of fact, let's go right into the tapped out.
Here's our tapped out segment of the week.
So, tapped out this week is the Iconics always losing. When are they going to win a match? They're the champions, and they have yet to win a match since they won the championship. Now, I know wins and losses don't matter, but sometimes they do matter. And the Iconics not winning the title, I just don't. Not winning matches since winning at WrestleMania, I don't understand. I can understand them losing individually, but come on, as a tag team. And when are they going to defend those titles? They didn't defend them at Money in the Bank. Okay, understandable. They're not defending them at Crown Jewel. So I'm hoping that at the new pay-per-view called Stomping Grounds, they will defend them. But that's my tapped out this week. Moving on, Bayley. How about that? Bayley was on SmackDown. She teamed with the man, Becky Lynch, as they took on Charlotte and Lacey Evans. That right there, that's a 90s style main event on Raw. You might be saying you have two budding feuds, and I know we see this all the time, but to me it just looked different. I don't know why. It just looked different. It felt like when you would have Bret the Hitman Hart teaming with Undertaker to take on, let's just say, King Kong. No, that's a bad combination. I got one. Give me a second. Razor Ramon and Shawn Michaels, right? And, Shawn Michaels is in a program with Owen Hart, and Razor Ramon's in a program with Dean Douglas. You had that tag match. But I guess because we see it, but we don't see it with the women as often. With the men, we see it all the freaking time. So, that's where I'm at with that. We also had a match between Carmella and Mandy Rose, which I like that because it kind of took us back to Money in the Bank. Unfortunately, because Carmella was with R-Truth, the match was broken up because R-Truth was running away. But, it is what it is. So, let's move on. AEW. Make sure you check out the Wrestling Realm. We will be dropping some new content coming up. Talking about this, y'all know how to real Dwayne Allen. Y'all know where he stands as far as AEW. He's not drinking the Kool-Aid, but has he taken a sip yet? Stay tuned and find out. But nonetheless, we had Hangman Adam Page versus Pac. That's the main event, right? Well, no. Let's just say championship match. But no, because the news broke this past weekend that due to creative differences, they were pulling the match. And Pac, who didn't want to lose a match. So here's the story, and this is like, I'm just reading off one of the sheets, but this is what's been going around. Pac is the current Open the Dream Gate champion for Dragon Gate and didn't want to lose a match while holding that title. For AEW, they are focused on wins and losses and didn't want to have a tie or a DQ in the match. They also reportedly looking at long terms. While they didn't necessarily have a problem with him beating Page, Pac's next opponent is likely Kenny Omega. And a win over Omega, or multiple opponents in a row, maybe wasn't in the plans. So we were to find out what they did was they released the match on their YouTube channel. Hangman Adam Page would have a match with Pac this past weekend over in England. They aired the match. Check it out. I watched it. It's a good match. I really enjoyed it. I would have rather watched it not knowing the results, but it is what it is. And if you didn't watch it yet, I'm not going to spoil the results, but I would have just rather watched it that way. But it's going to be interesting to see what happens, what's going to happen with the AEW Championship coming up Saturday at Double or Nothing. How are they going to do this? So there's got to be an opponent, you know. But there are some matches I'm excited for. I'm excited for Cody and Dustin. I should say stories. But I'm excited for that match. Jericho and Omega, it'll probably be a good match. But I'm interested to see the way the production looks. I'm interested to see the way the stage looks. I've been listening to Grillin' JR, and he's really excited about this. He always talks about keeping your jersey and getting, staying in the game. So that's why it makes sense. I don't believe he's going to be doing full-time announcing, but he's going to be around. And now it's time to come from the Wrealm.
And now for our From the Wrealm segment, where I answer your questions from the Facebook fan page, the Facebook group page, and the Twitter at Wrestling Wrealm.
And from the Wrealm this week, the question comes from Sean the Shark Williams, and you can see his question right there on the screen. And it is, can you please explain how this 24/7 title can actually work? Because I'm stumped. It comes off like a PG hardcore title. Well, obviously there will not be any weapons, but I think it can work. Like I said earlier, you'll see guys that you won't see all the time. The B team. I'm not a fan of this brand merger wild card thing at all. I don't even think I got a chance to really address that, but I'm not a fan of that. However, with this title, it makes sense, but I do think you had to do this because with this wild card thing, you got guys like Kofi Kingston working both shows, Roman Reigns on both shows, Shane McMahon on both shows. So this will allow you to still have some of those lower card guys, those mid card guys on both shows, but they also, you get to see those people. So that's how I think this will work. I'm interested to see how often the title is going to change. We saw on Tuesday, as of now, and while I am recording this, R-Truth is still the champion. He survived SmackDown. Now, by the time this comes out, he may not be. Like I said, I'm interested to see how they do some things via social media. But ladies and gentlemen, that is going to wrap it up this week for this episode of Break It Down with Brian H. Make sure you are subscribed. Subscribe down low if you haven't done yet. Make sure you download Podcoin. So make this your last podcast. Make this the last time you listen to a podcast on some of your other apps and listen to it on Podcoin. Get paid, folks. I've been listening to podcasts on there for a few months. I got some points. I'm kind of saving up. I want to get me one of those gift cards. So make sure you do that. Make sure you are following the Wrestling Wrealm on Twitter at Wrestling Wrealm, on Instagram at Wrestling Wrealm, and like the Facebook fan page. Just simply go to The Wrestling Wrealm. It's all right there, folks. Until the next time, I'm Brian H. Waters. So long, everybody. Thank you for tuning in to this week's episode of Break It Down with Brian H. Hit the subscribe button and turn on the bell so you get notified every time the Wrestling Wrealm posts new content.